topic of men's health is Dr. Mwangi Kibasho to my far left. Dr. Kibasho is the head of the Non-Communicable Disease Division of the Ministry of Health. Also with me is Dr. Patrick Mbuthia. Dr. Mbuthia is a urologist from Nyeri County, and Susan Kimondio. Susan Kimondio has been taking care of her husband. She's the mother of 2 boys, and she'll be telling us what her experience has been like having to take care of her husband and also having men in the house who may need health care once in a while. And so before we start that discussion, I want us to just listen in to what some men in Eldoret had to say when we asked them when, if at all, they go to hospital. Let's take a listen.
Nilikuwa mtamuna. Samani nilikuwa mtoto. Lakini sasa hii bado sijaenda. Sasa sijui mahali hospitali iko. Labda naenda kuona mtu. Ndio mimi sijajua kabisa. Mbona watu wanaenda hospitali? I don't know what's happening with them. Najua mwili ni tofauti. Kila mtu iko na mwili tofauti. Yangu ni tofauti. Ni vile unakula. Ukikula mzuri uende hiyo shughuli. Sasa watu wengine wanaenda tu hospitali kwa sababu hawachungi mwili zao mzuri. Sijawaenda hospitali tangu 1992. Wakati nilianza kukimbia. Sijawahi kuwa mgonjwa hata siku moja. Ni ile tu nimepata na niko na allergy tu ya baridi. Wakati niliacha mazoezi nikaingia siasa nikapata tu maneno ya allergy peke yake.
Tangu zamani sana sijaenda hospitali. Maybe from 1997 when I had chickenpox. Ndio nikaenda hospitali.
Unafikiria ni chanzo gani watu wanafanya kwenda hospitali?
Nafikiri ni mazingira mbaya. Kama chakula, maji na vitu vingine.
Tangu nisaliwe mimi sijai kanyaga hospitali yote. Sijai kanyaga. Na imekuwa ni mjadala mzuri sana kwa station yenu. Kwa sababu sisi tunakata NHIF na tumesikia venye NHIF wametoa sheria zao juzi hivi majuzi, wakasema kuwa lazima uende hospitali mara 4 kwa mwezi. Sasa hivyo ndio tulikuwa tunajiuliza, sasa usipokuwa mgonjwa itakuwaje? Pesa zetu zitaenda wapi ambazo tunalipia NHIF?
Sana sana huwa ninaenda hospitali kwa sababu huwa machakula ambapo huwa tunakula sometimes ziko na chemicals, then huwa chakula hiyo tukikula kuna problems za matumbo nini and the rest. So last time nilikuwa nimeenda hospitali kwa ajili ya tumbo.
So those are some of the sentiments from some of the men that we had asked if at all they go to hospital. And that was the question of the day. And we are asking you, when do men go to hospital? Is it when they are sick, when taking a family member to hospital, when visiting an admitted friend, or they never go to hospital at all? Tweet us at KTN News or at me directly at Dr. Masi Korir, and the hashtag is Morning Express KTN. And also with me is a panel of 3, and Dr. Kibasho, Dr. Mbuthia, and Susan Kimondio. I'll just ask you, from the sentiments and from the comments that we've had from the men from Eldoret, men do not go to hospital unless otherwise. What do you have to say about what we just had? I'll start with you, Dr. Kibasho.
All right. Thanks, Mercy, for having us. And I must begin with a caveat that me and Mbuthia here are men. And it's amazing to listen to our colleagues speaking out there. For me and him, probably go to hospital because we have to go to work. But it's actually a fact out there. The way the Kenyan man has been socialized and his health-seeking behavior actually does not favor him to go to the hospital, and we are trying to change this now. The most interesting thing is when you compare the men and the women. Women have numerous opportunities of going to hospital, whether they are sick or not. During maternity, when a child is sick, they're the ones who take care. And in that interaction, they get to go to hospital often. Mm-hmm. Some gentleman there said, and was asking what are the reasons why men go to hospital. Some people don't even know. There's one very reason that has not been mentioned. A lot of men go to hospital to die. Many of them stay until it's too late. They just go to hospital when it's too late. Okay, Dr. Mbuthia?
Thank you for having us here. In my career, I deal a lot with men. And to a great extent, men who are old. Okay? I think, as Dr. Ari has mentioned, men have less opportunities to actually seek help from a social construct point of view. For a long time, it was difficult to find, for example, a nurse in the village where a man lives, who is a man. But women, as they go along with their issues, will interact with their women colleagues who are women. And I think even more importantly, perhaps our hospitals and our health facilities are not very friendly to men. In the sense that if you ask, for example, your father or your uncle to walk into a hospital, already they feel a bit lost because the things they find there are perhaps not very good for men. But I think more critically, men must debunk the idea that their health is just about prostates and sexual health. Because if you read magazines and books and listen to programs, men's health is equated to prostate, sexual health. I think men need to remember they have a heart, they have a brain, they have blood vessels. So hypertension, diabetes, all other diseases that affect the other gender, affect man as well. And so men's health must be expanded then, so that even the thinking in a man's mind, they don't just go to hospital when urine has blocked, for example. Yeah, I think that's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Susan, being a mother of 2 and a wife, you have spent a better part of your life actually taking care of men. What do you have to say from what we saw earlier on that, well, men don't really go to hospital? What has your experience been like?
Thank you. It is true that most men do not go to hospital, but quite a number of them do go. Speaking in experience personally, I have 2 sons. And somebody might just get sick. And then you say, let's go to hospital, let's get you checked up. Then they just say, Mama, I'll be fine. Including my husband. My husband never used to go to hospital. If he has to go to hospital, I am with him. Yeah.
And so what has it been like when they say they'll just be fine, but from a woman's point of view, from a caregiver's point of view, you see that really this situation really needs to be taken to hospital, it really needs doctor's input, and yet here they're unwilling to go. What is it like for you, or what do you need to do?
It's very difficult to deal with a situation like that. But, if it is children, sometimes you'll be forced to, to use your motherly powers to take them to hospital. But where the husband is concerned, he might say, I will be fine. I'm not going to hospital. So if it's a severe cold or flu, you will be left to making concoctions for him so that he can get better. A man, most of the time, will go to hospital when he is really sick. Yeah.
Dr. Mbuthe, you deal a lot of the time with men. Your specialty is with men. So do they only come to you when the situation is really bad, or do they also seek your services just for precaution, as a precautionary measure, just to check their wellness and see if they are okay?
So, as you have alluded to earlier, men generally are taken to hospital, either as a small boy by their mothers, or as an ailing old man by their wives and their daughters. And so it is, and I hope this changes, it is rare for a man to literally walk himself to hospital. And so by the time they are arriving, they are almost being carried. There is an interesting analogy. The Kikuyu word for a urinary retention basically says a man is in severe pain. Okay, for those who understand, it's called mudhiori. A man is in severe pain. And how this happens is that they have urinary problems for months. And then the day it blocks, that's when he wakes up to everybody at 4 in the morning and says he needs to go to hospital. I think I'm hoping that this changes. And listening to the poll, to the people you're talking to in Eldoret, I would like to perhaps even challenge my own colleagues, the men, doctors. How many of them have been to hospital beyond their careers, beyond their work? And perhaps that question also comes to me. So I hope this changes, that men begin to take themselves to hospital while in fairly good health, so that they can have their issues caught early And that way, perhaps, we can improve our own life expectancy. Yeah.
I think we can pose that question directly to Dr. Kibasho since he's here. How often do you go to hospital, not as a doctor, but as a patient or for precautionary measures?
Actually, I'm a very poor patient, and it's no secret that my wife sometimes is very disgusted with me. And as our friend here has said, men are stoic. And the way we've been cultured, actually, a man responding to pain is often seen as a sign of weakness in our society. And I agree with Dr. Ari here that we have to change the way we approach health. Women generally approach pain and illness very well. I mean, if a woman is in pain, there's no secret about it, and it's easy for them to go to hospital. Me, I will bear it. I will, mwanaume ni kujikaza. Such statements do not work very well for the men's health. That's one. Then two, there is the fallacy around the men's career cause them a lot of exposure occupationally. They are more at risk of engaging in risky behavior, the alcohol, the fast driving. So they even have a higher risk of illness than the women anyway. And when you started, you talked about the life expectancy. Women outlive us, 5, 10 years more because of that exposure they have to the health system and also to their nature and how they've been cultured. I maybe might use my example. Why do I not go to hospital as maybe easily as my wife would want me to? First and foremost is how we have been cultured. And we have to change. It's a behavior change. It's a health-seeking behavior issue. Two is what Dr. Mbudi has mentioned here about our health facilities. How are they structured? Are they welcoming to men? A man finds himself in an unfamiliar territory in hospital. The hospital is more welcoming to the woman. The environment is more homely for the woman than for the man. And also because of being the head of the house, being down is seen as the family is in trouble. So I think we need to change this, and maybe later we'll talk about it. One of the men you interviewed talked about a very pertinent question he asked about NHIF. He's saying, I've been paying all these years. I am waiting to use it and I don't use it. And it's a big disservice to people subscribing to insurance, that we only think health is when you are not sick. It isn't. Because health is broader than the lack of an illness. There is mental health, which is not a thing you can touch and say, oh, he has broken his bone or he's bleeding. There are issues to do with depression, anxiety, which men suffer a lot from, but they are not seen as diseases. So I think we can expand the meaning of health so that we understand the broader issues that men have to go through.
Okay. And we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll address that issue of, the unseen health issues, mental health, wellness, healthy living, that sometimes are not really addressed when it comes to men, but it's more emphasized on women. So we'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll start